The global airline industry is facing a staggering loss, $84 billion this year alone. And the outlook is even more grim for next year, with potential losses climbing to $100 billion as passenger traffic struggles to rebound and airlines engage in a price war, undercutting each other to win back customers. Yet despite deep discounts, demand remains sluggish. United Airlines has announced plans to cut 36,000 jobs, nearly half its American workforce, and more layoffs may follow as the downturn deepens. Something is fading from the skies above the United States, and it's not just weather. Foreign carriers such as PLAY, Air Canada, Lufthansa, and Air France are methodically pulling out of U.S. markets. The cause? Tariffs. Goods from Canada and Mexico face a 25% levy, Chinese imports are taxed at 20%, and other countries see 10% surcharges. These added costs are pushing international airlines to scale back, reroute, or leave entirely. With demand drying up and operating expenses rising, the United States is seeing a slow erosion of its once dominant position in global aviation. The American aviation market, once considered the crown jewel for international airlines, is no longer viewed as a high-reward destination. PLAY Airlines, after several years of steady expansion, has closed all its U.S. routes. Boston, Baltimore, and Stewart, New York are no longer part of its network. These routes were not speculative. They were rooted in multi-year strategies aimed at capitalizing on the strength of the U.S. travel market. Today they're gone, quietly and without ceremony. Air Canada has also withdrawn significantly. It canceled 5 major cross-border routes and suspended service to 8 regional airports across the United States, including important border cities like Detroit and Minneapolis. These aren't obscure locations. They are vital transit points in the U.S.-Canada corridor. Their removal suggests a strategic retreat, not a temporary adjustment. This shift reflects a deep reevaluation by global airlines about the cost-benefit equation of serving U.S. markets. According to OAG, a leading aviation analytics firm, over 320,000 seats were removed from U.S. routes. That isn't a short-term trend, it's a structural pullback. Smaller airports are hit hardest. Stewart International Airport, once a hopeful hub for European low-cost carriers, has lost its last international route. Its customs area is vacant, the international terminal largely dormant. What we're seeing isn't just a downturn, it's a dismantling of global connectivity. The economic consequences are mounting. Hotels around regional airports report massive drops in bookings. Retail traffic in airport shops has halved. Taxi companies and local eateries are seeing revenues plummet. This decline affects not just travel, but employment, local tax bases, and regional economic planning. Cities had invested heavily in airport infrastructure under the assumption that international air travel would keep growing. That assumption has now collapsed. The reasons are, well, practical. This retreat is not political or ideological, it's financial. Maintaining international operations in the United States has just become too costly. Tariffs on airplane parts, repair equipment, and support services have really inflated operational budgets. At the same time, demand is eroding as high ticket prices, strict visa requirements, and a strong US dollar are, deterring international travelers. Airlines are facing shrinking margins and are reallocating resources to more profitable regions. Even government-backed carriers are changing course. Lufthansa has openly stated that U.S. demand has plateaued. It's cutting capacity and focusing on more stable markets. Air France is doing the same. These are not gestures, they're strategic reallocations. Aircraft are being redirected to Asia and Europe, where the business environment is more reliable and travel demand is expanding. These decisions are driven by bottom-line forecasts, not foreign policy. American airlines are feeling the pressure too. Delta has revised its earnings forecast downward, citing weaker international performance. This isn't a fluke, it's the fallout of losing balance in global air traffic. Outbound flights from the United States continue, but with fewer inbound passengers, international routes become harder to sustain. U.S. carriers can absorb infrastructure costs more easily than international partners, but The broader system still suffers. America's skies are noticeably quieter. Where global travelers once crowded terminals and gates buzzed with foreign voices, now there is an unmistakable stillness. This isn't merely about travel, it's about relevance. The departure of international airlines signals a decline in tourism, business travel, investment, and diplomatic engagement. The question is no longer whether this shift is happening, it is. And the real issue is why and where these airlines are now focusing their attention. Cities like Buffalo, Seattle, and Tampa are facing the sharpest consequences. Hotels report low occupancy, airport stores have seen business drop significantly, and regional travel economies are shrinking. Where are the planes going instead? Well, toward new growth markets. Airlines are increasingly investing in Southeast Asia, Africa, and BRICS economies. Turkish Airlines has scaled back United States plans and launched new services to cities like Mumbai and Jakarta. Chinese airlines are pulling back from major U.S. cities like Los Angeles and Chicago, redirecting flights to Nairobi, Lima, and Bangkok. For the United States, the stakes are high. Without action, lowering tariffs, easing entry policies, and renewing international alliances, the country could lose its place as a central hub of global aviation. The planes are leaving. The question is, will they ever return?